This podcast provides a platform that will share many different points of views that should empower you, uplift you, make you want to go out and do right. When you hear the term still a man, say, yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Let's go.
What's up, people? Welcome to another episode of the Still a Man podcast. Tonight's topic, the struggle is real. Now, just so we are clear, I am referring to the struggle that's, that, let's say,
just get it out.
Generation.
I'm here, goddamn it.
Listen, we're not doing this tonight. Y'all already started. Freaking frack. Be quiet for a moment. I'm referring to the phrase, the term, the statement that was made popular by the hip hop culture, Generation X, and then Millennium. The Millenniums, like they often do, they adopted the terminology, and they always try to repackage it and represent it. But I am referring in this sense. So the struggle is real, pertains to the oppression and poverty that people of the urban community face. All right. So again, we're just gonna phrase it as that, people of the urban community. So let's be clear about this, because the people on this podcast are predominantly people of color. Their experiences and their struggles, their trials and tribulations are going to be based upon things that affect or plague people of color, people of that look like them, sound like them, people of their color. All right. That being said, let's get down to it. Welcome, ladies. We'll go to ladies first. Patsy, when you hear the term "the struggle is real," what does that mean to you?
It means that you struggling with stuff like financially, emotionally, just trying to make ends meet and stuff. Sometimes food struggles, but for me now, like, I know I had struggles back in the day, especially with my mom being a single parent and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but now because I kind of know how to maintain my own financial stuff and balance my everything. So yeah, and knowing how to get to different places to get help, like with food pantries and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't find it to be a struggle, because it's like I know how to maintain and balance my money,
Okay.
and budget.
Let's go to Tanya next. Tanya, when you hear the term,
Maria's in
phrase,
the house too.
the struggle is real, what does it mean to you?
It means many different things. When I was younger, the struggle is real meant that I had to fend for myself. My mom and my dad was doing their own things. And so I would look to my grandmother and my aunts and other aunts and uncles in my circle to look after me. When I became a parent, the struggle was real, being a single parent and trying to maintain my household financially, emotionally, mentally, career-wise. The struggle was real, trying to get to where I needed to be in a career, being noticed, not overlooked, not stepped on, just striving.
Okay. Maria?
Yeah, so The struggle is real. I guess I can't really speak on that when I was younger because I didn't really feel the struggle. I felt like I had everything I needed growing up as a kid. When I became a young parent, that's when I would say the struggle is real. You know, some days the struggle still can be real.
Okay. Chi?
Yes.
So
So
what?
when I hear the struggle is real today, I think it means a lot for I mean it means different things to different people. Like right now I feel like the struggle is real, could be mental, it could be financial. It definitely is with this economy it's definitely financial. The struggle is real in politics. So it means a lot of things to me. And social. Thank you.
Okay, let's go to the guys. Robert, let's go to you first. What does the term "the struggle is real" mean to you?
I tend to struggle still to this day of getting people to understand
I know.
I am a clear individual.
Yeah.
So my struggles is different, but I can tell you they're very real. My main struggle growing up as a teenager was I couldn't get enough of the pretty women. That's the only
Oh Lord.
struggle I was really focusing on. Getting me enough of that pretty woman.
Pretty woman walking down the street.
Yeah, that's a, all right. So Timmy, what does that term mean to you?
I'm like Maria. I'm like Maria. The struggle to me wasn't because if my mother didn't tell us that we were struggling, I wouldn't even know. So it didn't even feel like we were struggling, and even though we didn't have certain things, we was rich with love and having plenty to eat and not going hungry. So for me, it wasn't like that. And far as me getting older, as I got older, I had fun throughout my damn teens, 20s, and then my early 30s. That's when I had my kids. So I was good from watching all my siblings have kids and deal with them. And so for me, it wasn't really no struggle because I was on point with it. So it really wasn't a struggle to me. Now, you know, even today, I feel like I'm managing. I ain't struggling. I'm managing.
Yeah.
Now that's two of your siblings telling you that their struggle wasn't hard coming up. So why do you think I answered the way I answered?
Let's go to Gregory next. Gregory, what does the term "the struggle is real" mean to you?
I think the struggle is real to strive to achieve the American dream for everybody. And that's the way that they made the system out to be. So I guess that's what I'm hearing when I'm hearing the struggle is real, other than the struggle is real about the meal that you gotta eat or broke your nail or whatever the hell be going on with these kids nowadays.
Had you ever had to look to find a meal, Gregory?
Yes, I've struggled to make a meal sometimes. We might have had some sardines over here, boy.
But you had something to eat, right? You don't know anything about homeless people eating off the sidewalk, right?
I didn't mean it like that. I'm talking about the kids
That's
that
a
post the
struggle.
struggle is real and
Right.
post a picture of their plate. or the
Don't worry
broken
about it.
fingernail. Say the
Don't worry
struggle
about
is
Yeah,
it.
real.
Dave, that's
I'm
what I was going to ask you too, Dave.
Bobby
Was you
still.
trying to go somewhere with this? Because
Yeah, don't worry
I
about
thought
it.
it
I'm
was
gonna
I'm,
going
take you
I'm
to be.
there.
let me
Yeah, go ahead.
let me chime in on Gregory when he says something about the American dream with the struggle being real. My daughter sent me something today about her working to retirement, that she had to work till 63 to get $1,600 from SSAI.
That ain't nothing.
And then if she wanted to get like 2,100, she had to work 3 more years. So she's working like a dog.
Till she's
America wants you
68.
to be America wants you to be dead and you still
Before you
not
can
enjoy.
live that American dream out.
Yes.
No,
That is
I
not
don't
even an
agree that.
American dream.
I
Hold
don't
How
on,
is
agree
guys.
that.
No
1,600?
birds in the house.
Hold on,
How
guys.
is $1,600, $1,900
Hold on.
American dream?
Hold
Let's
on, hold
talk
on.
higher money.
Hold on. Before we start going
I'm
there, I want
saying
to make
that
sure.
I'm saying that in the way of him saying that it's rigged against you.
Hold on, put a pin in that. We're gonna come back to that, I promise you. Let's get Bird and Sean.
Josie.
Let's go to Sean, then Bird, then Josie. Sean, what does the term the struggle is real mean to you?
Excuse me. When I hear that term, I think of it as people just struggling to make it day to day. When I look at today's world, people have all types of issues and facades and personas that they're trying to live up to.
Okay.
And just that simple for me. It's just, trying to either maintain something to be something or trying to be something that they're not, just as an image. When people use that term, the struggle is real.
Mm.
Okay, so what I'm gonna ask everybody to do, can everybody turn your volume up on your phones a notch, please?
You guys can hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Was you finished, y'all?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Okay, Bert, if you allow me to go to the lady before you, and then you can finish it up before we go to the next question. Josie, you ready? What does the
Jeez, I
term?
was definitely looking forward to being last. Go ahead.
Oh, shit.
Well, you're not last.
Go ahead.
We're waiting.
Hello?
Well,
I'm
I'm here.
asking you, what was the question? I missed it.
Oh, I said it earlier.
What does the struggle is real
He
mean
just
to
came
you?
in.
What does the struggle mean? What does it mean with the struggle is real
Yes.
to me?
To you.
Yes.
I guess just getting up every day trying to make it happen. That's a struggle and it's real.
Okay. All right, B, it's on you. When you hear the term "the struggle is real," what does that mean to you?
I believe struggle refers to life. Life is
Right.
real.
Mm-hmm.
We let me put my words together. I just woke up. We tend to try to survive. And that's all we're trying to do as unfortunately people is to survive for tomorrow. I just saw a post that somebody posted where, the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor.
Mhm.
The rich pretend that they're poor, which is how they stay rich, and the poor are pretending that they're rich is why they stay poor. The guy said some people will rather walk around with a $5,000 bag with $100 in it than someone with 5,000 in a paper bag with no $5,000 designer bag. So, that's kind of where we are in the world right now. And not, I think, everybody. It may be cultural, it may not be. I'm not going to be the one to make that decision. But, speaking on what Tanya said, you're not expected to work to retire just to collect Social Security. In the meantime, between time, as a 25-year-old, 30-year-old, you invest in a 401k. You make
Uh-huh.
smart investments with your money. I believe, Tanya, you was the one that put away some money for the young boys growing up, and in due time it became quadruple or quadruple the number that you spent. So you can take those few dollars instead of buying those $300 sneakers or $200 jeans
And
or
reinvest.
$5,000 purse, right? We don't need shit like that in our life. Take that
Reinvest.
$5,000 and put it into a CD or invest in a stock or whatever you can do to invest your money, opposed to materialistic things that many people choose to do when you want to drive an $80,000 car, but you living at home with your mama. So I'm saying you don't totally, the plan is, I guess, the plan, right, is to invest your money in the years that you have the strength to work. So some people can retire at 40. Right? Some people have chosen a career where there is 401k and a retirement program that you invest money through your years of working to obtain that level of financial security to retire and not at 65 years old. Because again, let's be honest, half of us ain't going to make 65. Or even if you do make 65, are you going to make 67 or 68 or 70 to enjoy your quote unquote Social Security benefit? So we're not just designed to rely on retirement from the government. We rely on the retirement of our investment and our hard work that we've invested our time and our money into to work for us later.
So stay right there, because they have a list of factors that they say contribute to the struggle. What we're talking about right now is economic. So that's one. Education is another. Housing, environmental factors, health, media. What's the other one? Incarceration, mass incarceration, navigating the judicial system. It's a number of them. And can you guys tell me, add to that list? Do you know any that should be added, other factors that should be added to that?
Did you say health? Anything about health?
Yeah, I said health.
Child care.
Suicide.
Mental health, addiction health. Because I know a couple of people that struggled with that, you know?
Child care, adult care, meaning when others have to take care of their parents, that's a big burden. So that's financial too.
It's life. Everything about everyone's saying is a part of life.
It's a part of the
struggle is
American
inclusive
dream.
to
They
all of
made
these
this,
things. It's life.
So let's break these down. Let's go back. So Bird already took us into the economic factor. Let's expand. You guys, so I'd say all of us, you guys stated that the struggle is different depending on what stage you are in life. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No, I think the struggle, regardless of your age, is real.
All right, so
no, he's not saying
He
that
didn't
it's not
say
there.
that
He's
it's not
saying that
there.
it's
He said
different.
different.
So at different stages in life, you're affected differently by the struggle.
The struggle.
So for example, when, as Timmy said and Maria said, when they were younger, they didn't know anything about struggle because, and we talked about this before. A lot of times our parents shielded us from a lot of that. As long as there was food on the table and we had we was living, we had a roof over our head, and we had
clothes on your back.
to where we was all good. The world was good according to us. But I think that once you start going to that next developmental stage where you become an adolescent and some of the blinders are removed and you start to expand out and you're going over your friend's house and you see what's going on at their houses. You see what's going on in the communities, the people that go to school.
Clothes are more expensive.
So you start to see.
As you get older, your clothes get expensive. So 5 kids getting all brand name clothing. That's about 2,000-3,000, maybe $5,000.
And then you're looking at other people's family, not knowing how they're getting it or doing it, and you want to be
Exactly.
like them.
Right.
You want to be like them.
That's
You
the
ain't
Well, that's the
Joneses.
struggling.
That's the
struggle, though. The
Joneses.
struggle is
You
that
ain't
you relying
struggling.
on name brands to meet with the Joneses.
Yeah,
That's not
you
a
ain't
struggle.
struggling.
But it's
You
That's
not
a
just
you
just
want you
yourself.
it's
want
not just
luxuries in life.
it's not just material. It's emotional and mental struggles
And
as well.
it's down to what they're eating every day. You just start to feel some entitlement. Richie gets this at his house, so why can't we have it here, Mom?
It's starting to sound like a mold to me. Like they're trying to make you expire. When all this other stuff started molding, and now there's other people molding. It's a big problem.
So again, so y'all talked about the childhood. By the time you were adolescents and stuff, you started to see things differently. Now, do you believe that your struggle started to, like make itself known to you as you got into your teen years? Let's go to Sean first. Sean, did you realize any struggle in your teen years?
No, not at all. Like I said, I know for a fact that we were middle class, but um, the way that my parents did everything, that like you stated earlier, that they shielded a lot of things from us to where I was a full grown adult with a family and all. When I found out that a lot of trips that we took were trips that my dad used to come up with spare in the moment because he had got some type of a bump or a raise on the job.
Mm.
So yeah, so because we were able to get like anything that we ever wanted, we got. We never, if we asked for anything, if my dad was like, like, let me see what I can do. I mean, to us, let me see what I can do was a yes. That just meant I couldn't get it at that moment, but give me 2 or 3 days, we'll see what we can do. So no, I didn't experience any of the struggles like that not until I got to be an adult.
No financial struggles early on.
No,
All right.
I know that I will admit uh because your question is, did I experience it against any other? I knew that there could have been some certain situations, but I didn't know what they were
Okay.
at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Josie, hold on, Timmy. Hold on, Josie.
Coming out, I don't think that I really noticed any of that. But as far as me becoming a teenager, no, I take that back. Coming up, I did see some of my mom struggle again because she sometimes was single, sometimes she was mingling. But then me individually, as I started coming up as a teenager, definitely recognized the struggle.
Can
And
I ask you
again,
something? Can I ask you this?
Wait,
When you
let her
say,
finish. Let her finish.
yep, all right, go on.
just with again getting up every day trying to make it. That was a struggle, you know what I mean? And when I say make it, I mean make ends meet, put those clothes on that fit, not just fit in size, but fit to my liking. And then just fitting in with the crowd, I guess, your upbringing and the neighborhood people. Or yeah, I'm gonna say when I started turning a teen, it got realer. How about that?
Okay. So the struggle became real at that point. And Robert, I want to be fair to everybody on the board. I told Timmy to hold on, so let me go to Timmy next, and then I'll come to you. Do not forget your question for Josie.
I don't. I don't.
All right, go ahead, Tim. Same question. So when did the struggle financially start to become more apparent to you?
For me, right, life life is learning stages, and you're supposed to learn something from each stage of your goddamn life. So for me, that not having certain things and not being able to get those, for me, that was more of lesson to cherish and take care of the things that you have, because you might not be able to get that again. So you cherish the things like my records, my CDs, my stereo equipment, anything that I spent my money on that I couldn't get as a teenager or whatever. It made me, know, hey, when you get it, you take care of your stuff and you be good, because you'll have stuff that people will admire that they didn't have. Yeah, damn, you still got that? I thought you probably wouldn't have that.
But
So
when did a struggle become apparent to you financially? When did you recognize any struggle within the home financially?
oh yeah, definitely. I definitely recognize it, but again, I looked at it as a learning lesson. It was lessons that you learn to pass on to your kids so they won't go do that and make that same mistake, or don't do the necessary things to protect themselves and make sure that they're straight, and make sure that they take care of things so they won't be having to keep getting it over and over, and people taking it from them, or they're not taking care of it and it just rot to death.
All right, so
So
what I'm hearing is you're saying that any financial hardship that you might have witnessed, you took it as a lesson learned, and that you was going to make sure that your children didn't endure the same hardships that you saw growing up. Am I correct in saying that?
of course,
All right, let's go to Robert.
Well, to clear up what Josie was saying about my mom's was single, and then there was other times she seen her mingling. I just want everybody to know, as viewers or that's sitting out here listening to the podcast, however you hear it, that my mom's only mingled with my father. So the word mingling made me feel like, dirty word. Who was she mingling with outside my dad? So I just want to clear that up as clear as I can get it for you viewers. Now I'm gonna break it down to: did I struggle or notice any struggle in my teenage years? That was the question. The question.
Yes.
Not really, because let me use this term: them boys. Me and my friends, we made it happen. Either we went out there and did the 1-2, what you would call it, hustling, to make ends meet, to be able to buy food that we wanted to eat or clothing that we wanted to wear. And as I had a child, they survived off of my work money and my hustle money. So my children didn't need for nothing. They was kind of spoiled.
Okay. Maria, so you said that you didn't experience you didn't witness, or you wasn't aware of any financial hardships or struggle when you was a child. What about
Like
as you
that, I
evolved
told
to
you, my struggle for me became in my teen, because I became a teen mom. So it wasn't about my mother taking care of me no longer. It was about me taking care of myself and my child. So as I was a preteen or a youngin, name brands didn't really matter to me. As long as I had a nice pair of kicks, maybe a name brand pair of kicks, and my clothing was matching and clean. Like, I didn't really get into the name brand stuff until I got into my early 20s, where I always had to have a name brand on. But growing up, that didn't really matter to me. It was as long as my clothes was cute and they matched or whatever, I was good. So my struggle came in, trying to maintain that life that I wanted for me and my child.
Okay.
Hmm.
Bert, any struggle or did you witness any financial hardships within the household as a teen?
Well, I can tell you there was struggle before I made teenager, because again, I'll share that part as well. There wasn't always meat on the table, right? There was other food, but there wasn't no meat. So, yeah, I believe there was adolescent struggle. And again, we talked about this in another podcast, and you get a hole in your pants, you get in a patch. It wasn't like let's go to the store, get you some new jeans. You got your clothes sewn up 7 times before you finally got new clothes, or you got new clothes every school year, and that was the only time you got new clothes. So, and then shit, Uncle Bobby was the motherfucker, excuse my language. We got new clothes whenever he was around, or we had steak whenever he was out of jail. So, I mean, and then as I slowly slipped into the teenage or tween age at the tender age of 12, life had no choice but to begin for me in every way, in every day. Struggling to figure out what I'm going to eat, because ain't no money in this house. Ain't nobody even here to supervise this house. Ain't nothing here for me. So the struggle got as hard as it can be. And I had to, at the very young, tender age, be forced to go out there and hustle to make money to eat, money to buy a pair of sneakers to go to school in, clothes to buy. And I don't think I became materialistic at all and care about name brands. I'll still buy a $10 t-shirt or $15 pair of jeans from Marshalls. I don't live on material items, right? I don't drive a Mercedes. I can afford a Mercedes, but I will not drive a Mercedes because I don't need a Mercedes to drive from work to home. I don't need luxury clothes to do what? Go to work with. I'm not living, never have lived in the light of trying to keep up with what other people have, because again, growing up, not having became a necessity for me. And now, do I have an excess amount of clothes? Absolutely. Clothes I don't wear, haven't worn in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years because I can't bring myself to throw away stuff. I donate clothing, but I will not throw a single article of clothing in the garbage, not knowing that I didn't have many pair of clothes, or I was sharing clothes with my brother that didn't even fit because we're 4 years apart. Not even having enough pair of underwear, like 3, 4, 5 pair of underwear I got to work with. Shit was the realest it's ever been in my life. So it prepared me for adulthood when I did have children and I was frugal and kids were coming and, bills needed to get paid. But again, there were struggles with them growing up because there wasn't luxury vacations for 6 people to go on a trip, A vacation for me was throwing everybody in my van and going to a park with a picnic basket and a blanket and having a good time just like that. But
that was a trip. It was something that you did.
I'm just saying, like a vacation. Hear what I'm saying, Tiny Tim? The vacations, they never existed. We never took the family on a plane to go to Disneyland because it wasn't a necessity. Unfortunately, the necessity was, clothes for them, food for them. Education was being supplemented. It wasn't a public education for quite some time. That was my investment to retire. That was my investment to push my family to have them grow, to move on, to hopefully get through life without that struggle and be prepared for that struggle.
Okay, well said. Patsy, did you notice any financial?
I'm gonna hop in the shower so you guys can skip me out for about a half an hour.
Yeah, no worries. Put your phone on mute. Patsy, did you experience or was you aware of any financial struggle during your teen years?
Of course.
In the home? I said
Yeah. I know, right? Yeah, I kind of noticed it a little bit because it's like I knew my mother being a single parent with 3 kids at home. She didn't say all the struggles, but she did make I didn't know she went to food pantries, went to different things. Not to say that she didn't buy food for the house as well. She did go to sales and shopping and stuff like this. And she always said, y'all better be happy with what you got. You got a roof over your head, clothes on your back, and food in your mouth to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So, right there in that whole statement right there, she got to make do with what she got. And with what she had to do to make supplements for the household.
Mm-hmm.
So we just better be happy with what we have. We didn't go around having name brands or size shoe. If we went to the store, she made it known, you better not ask for nothing up in this store. And then if she did give you a choice, like when we went, like I said this last time we were talking, if we were able to pick and choose our clothes, like for Easter or something, that was the only time that we actually was able, and she made the final decision, or picking out a pair of shoes. We might have picked out a couple of pairs, but she ended up which ones that she could
She
afford
can
to
afford.
buy.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew there was some struggle there, but it wasn't. We didn't think twice of it, because it's like my mother laid down the law saying, okay, this is how it is, and this is how we're gonna do,
Okay.
and y'all better be happy.
All right, Gregory, will you permit me to go to the remaining ladies that didn't get a chance? And I promise you, I'll come to you after, but there's a method to my madness.
You got Gina with us. You got my mother with us.
Yeah,
Kiana.
So we already heard from Josie, so we're gonna go to. I'm gonna go to Tanya next, and then Gina, and then Kiana. All right, it's on you, T. So did you, witness, or did the struggle financially become more apparent in your teen years as opposed to your as a toddler?
Well, I'm gonna have to piggyback off of what Bird was saying, that my struggle started in my adolescent years. I struggled with abandonment and not feeling not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't have any issues with having a roof over my head and clothes on my back. That didn't come into play until middle school. When my mom, she got with her man that was selfish. He wanted it all about him, and she forgot all about me. And my father was here in Massachusetts, and he didn't think about me, but every so often. So the struggle for the finances became real then, when I had to basically do my 1-2s just to be able to have lunch money, to be able to get back and forth to school. And when I got into high school, it really got the 1-2s. I got to selling and to be able to have clothes and food. And so yeah, the struggle got real for me in the teenage years, and then on to adulthood, feeling like not wanting to feel like I was good enough. So, and I never wanted my kids to feel that way. So I always overindulge with them, with what I could, worked hard, worked multiple jobs to be able to make sure that they didn't feel that struggle. So there was no vacations. Ever so often there was vacations, but it was a lot of going to the park, making picnics, taking them to the circus and plays and things like that. What I couldn't do on family trips, I did on family outings to give them a different type of culture.
All right, loving it.
More intimate.
Yeah, Gina, welcome. So the question is, did you experience or was you aware of any financial struggle as a teen?
Um, yeah, I recognized that there was a struggle. Um, my mom had 5 kids, so and then she had 2 sets of twins.
Mm-hmm.
So she was trying her best. I did have a father figure, but he was very abusive. Um, but I recognized that we couldn't get sneakers as often as some other families, and how my little brothers had to, consistently get sneakers because they were consistently growing out of sneakers faster because they were younger than us. So we had at least probably 2 times we'll get sneakers. I think it was before school started, and then maybe
Summertime.
summertime. Exactly, right. So those were the 2 times, and we had it. But yeah, I recognized it more so in my I would say middle school years.
Okay. So you Duchess, same question. Did you
And you know how I know this, Gina, because your mother is in my area. It's like my brothers and them. She's in our area.
she's
You
Yep.
know,
she's a part of our generation, so
Mhm.
some of our hardships are similar, if not
Yep.
the same, similar. All right,
Exactly.
Duchess, it's on you.
Sorry. Um, did I recognize? No, I like someone said. We were middle class. Oh, I am middle class. Whatever. I wouldn't. No
it sure is hard
recognition.
for us.
No recognition of any struggles because as I treat my child, parents' business is not children's business, and they shouldn't have to deal with that until they have to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say the struggle became real or reality when I had my own kid and I realized, okay, now I got to buy 2 or 3 people and not just me. And so I got to make it qualify for everybody so everybody gets something and nobody's mad. So I don't believe I ever realized that there was any kind of struggle when I was younger. And of course, older realized, yeah, there were some things, but um, that came out way, way, way after the fact that I mean, I don't want to say I could do anything about it, but that it made a difference. But our lives were good to me. My childhood was great.
What about you, Jake? Did you experience any financial hardship or witness any financial struggle as a teen?
I wanted to say, for some reason, I'm feeling like everybody has seen the struggle around adolescent, and I'm just thinking about that word adolescent. Is it adolescent to your life? And now you're starting to feel like you're struggling because you're being indoctrinated into the matrix, and you learn the value of money. The value of money is when you start feeling like your value, the way you look at the value of money is when you start feeling like you're struggling, because you start to realize I might have to pay for this and this costs this. And then as time started going, the inflation of the money started coming, and you realize that you used to could buy 4 things with $1, and now you can only buy 2, and then it starts turning into 1. You start see that's the struggle.
Mm. You know,
It went from dime to 5 cent to a penny. It started off with pennies, then 5 cents, then 10 to 15, 20.
It's just realizing that, and then it drags you into the matrix to pull you into the fashion and all that other stuff that people start getting into, and they start spending their money on that stuff, thinking that they need it to look a certain way to present themselves to the world.
All right, let's go to the next one. Another intricate part of the struggle puzzle, so to speak. They say education plays a big part in the urban community struggle, the ongoing struggle. Now, so let's just think about this. Our grandparents, they wasn't afforded the education that our parents was afforded, and then in some situations, in some families, even with our parents, they stopped going to school to so they can go to work to help out with the finances, the bills in the house and stuff like
That's a
that.
damn lie, Dave.
So, but
They
wait,
wanted to
let me
hang
finish.
out with the Joneses.
Let me finish. But then, as you get to our generation, Generation X, education became more of a push where we were told that an education is an intricate part of the skills that you're gonna need to life, to be successful in life. So, it was a must, whereas high school was going to open up the doors for college, and then college was going to open the doors for some type of good job or something of that sort.
No, Dave,
College was
because
supposed to open up a door to a career. Your regular
right.
high school and all of that, without going to college, was going to open up a door for a job.
But that back then, if you had talent in any sports, they had people doing the work for those dudes, and them dudes got pushed through and went in and did, play pro, but didn't last because all the how they got through to get there, and it didn't perspire from them learning. They didn't learn nothing. They just got shoved through. So when it came to the finances, they just blew up all their finances. They had nothing to invest.
Okay, so let's go back to what we said about the education. Was it a struggle for you, as when high school became the factor? Did you recognize that there was a struggle for you based upon what your parents were teaching you and what they were showing you, whereas school was concerned?
For me, yeah, school wasn't no struggle. I kind of liked the school. But again, trials and tribulations, the Joneses, you watching. Now, some Joneses are smart, right? They'll skip class and do all the crazy nonsense and still pass, right? But you following the Joneses, and you see these fools start going to class. You're like, what the hell? Started this shit. Now you going to class now. So now you get confused on certain things, and you just follow the wrong people, the Joneses, and you fall off track, but then you get back on track, and then you have a problem with the damn teaching. Mainly, my whole problem was uh U.S. history, American history. That was my problem. I had a problem. Listen, you only mentioned Harriet Tubman, uh, goddamn Martin Luther King in these damn books. What about Thurgood Marshall and a bunch of other big name people like they mentioned George Washington Carver. They mentioned him, but my thing is there's more stuff that we know about that they don't put in the history books, but they only want you to learn. And this is the game. You got to learn. In order for you to pass, you have to learn the history that they are teaching you, not learning history that you would like to know more about. Not saying that the U.S. history is not as interesting as you want to know about what other blacks did and how they came about and lived and their ancestors and stuff like that. So I'm not taking nothing away from the history, but they don't try to teach more history pertaining what black did for history. And then on top of that, they only give you 28 days, the shortest day month of the year. They give you Black History, and then they don't even show anything pertaining to Black history.
All right, so if I'm hearing you right, bringing this all back together, you're saying that the struggle for you, whereas education was, it sounds like it was a struggle for them to keep your attention because the curriculum wasn't challenging enough for you. Am I correct in saying that?
It wasn't that it wasn't challenged. They forgot about the colored people.
It wasn't accurate.
All
It wasn't accurate.
All right, so let's go to Sean. Sean, you can make some sense to this. So again, what's education a struggle in your family based upon what your elders taught you, shown what they enforced, whereas schooling was concerned and what society was saying about schooling at the time?
No, not a struggle at all. School was very much encouraged in my family. When we first came to Boston, we had family here, but we weren't real close with them, so we was a close knit. So it's just for the longest time it was just four of us, my parents and my younger brother, and so we just my parents always instilled in us that they didn't say it, but looking back on it, the hindsight was, that saying that, your parents always want you to be better than what they are. And that's how we moved. And so because we was such a close knit, it was okay to like school, like I said, school wasn't a thing for us. We went to school. I enjoyed school. I had a ball in school. So like I said, I grew up, I didn't know of any of the struggles like I know now. I knew of none of those struggles coming up.
Okay, so ladies, hold tight because I'm going to the guys first because I know they're going to be they're gonna have a different perspective, whereas this is concerned. And I'm gonna come to you ladies, I promise. I'm gonna go to Gregory next.
Looking at it now, back then, I liked school and stuff because I felt like it was a lot to do, people to meet. I got to learn new stuff, and I like to keep my mind sharp because I was a writer. But now that I'm looking at it, it was like a program because most of the stuff that they teach you in school doesn't have anything to do with the world, with you living in the world and trying to succeed in the world. Most of the stuff they teach you is like an indoctrination into believing in the American way. And then you go out there and you try to strive and achieve the American dream. Something that's what I'm getting from that.
Okay. Robert?
I want to really respond to that term, the American dream. In every country, you want to get up and go out and be something in life. That ain't just our dream. That's the world's dream. So you got to stop saying the American dream, because if you living in a different country, you will want to be educated. You will want to work. You will want to have that fence and a family behind it and a pet or two. That ain't just the American
Well,
dream.
that's not
That's the
basing
way of
on
wanting to feel
sometimes
like you
some
achieve everything,
let me
accomplish
say
all
this.
your goals in life.
Sometimes it's different in their governmental systems, and they might be handing they might
I'm going
treat
to give
money
you a little
different.
bit of
Money might
advice.
even be different. Money
Hold
might
on.
be
Pack your
dues
stuff,
and stuff.
pack your
People
stuff
might get
up,
portions. So
and
you're
go live in
talking
a
about
different
all around
country
the
for
world.
Hold
about
on.
I'm trying to
90
respond to
days
you.
and tell me if you feel the same way.
Hold on, Robert. Hold on. In fairness, I think you're taking what he's saying.
Because he keeps saying the
But
American
wait,
dream, the
but
American
wait,
dream.
Because the
but wait.
American dream is implemented
And
by
that's based
America, who
upon
is the
Listen, I'm
leader
going to go to
of
school
the
real quick
UN.
They
on you.
got commercials that
wait,
says
stop.
Which
Before
means
you,
that the
come live the
American dream,
American
look,
dream.
America has army camps set up all over the world.
What
hold on,
Our way
other
of
guys.
life
country?
is
What
implemented
you
all over the world. So it's
that we're
called,
the only
yes, it's
country that's
called the
doing
American
these
dream.
things.
If you're not living
Robert,
like us, we
Gregory,
will come
y'all
and
about to
shut
take
your
this in a
country down.
different direction. So
So
let's
then
bring
let
it
me
back
go to
to what.
school on you,
Let's
because I'm
bring
going
it
to tell
back
you
to.
how I felt
Wait a
about
minute,
school.
Robert. Wait a minute. Before you go to school,
You ain't even listening to what I'm
listen to.
saying.
I'm
So
gonna
it
bring
doesn't,
it.
it's like I'm not having a
Listen,
conversation
guys.
with a
Go
person. I'm
go to
having a
your
conversation
respective
with a wall.
corners and listen.
Ding, 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 ding.
I'm gonna bring this back together. So, Robbie, being fair to Gregory, you're taking what he's saying out of context. Again, like I said, this is his personal experience. You can't tell him he's wrong. He's saying this in accordance to his life experiences. You can't tell him that he can't say the American dream. He lives in America, so that's what it means to him. He's not giving you his perspective from another country because he lives in America. So you're wrong in that sense. Now go back to answering the initial question: is Robert?
Can I ask you something?
Wait,
Being that
did
that's
you
my opinion,
experience any?
listen, Mr. Host. That's my opinion. You cannot tell me I'm wrong. You can say that's my opinion, because you'll be wrong telling me that I can't tell Gregory something.
Out of context.
You don't have a place to do that.
You're
now I'm
taking
gonna
this
go
out of
back to the
context.
school and education. My problem with going to school, was it a struggle? The struggle was keeping my brain focused on the education that they was trying to provide for me. So that meaning I can go to school, sit in your classroom, finish my damn paper in 5 minutes, and watch all these other dumb students around me still struggling to finish the project. That's what my problem was. I was sitting in advanced classes. I was finishing my work quick. Now I don't want to be here no more because I'm bored. So I go outside your school, smoke me a joint, come back in, finish my work again. Listen, I got tired of watching the students around me struggle. I got tired watching the teachers around me teach some basic stuff that I started thinking was boring to me. So I became lazy and less interested in going to school. So I stayed home.
All right, so
and you
ladies,
worked,
I'm
you worked in your mother's daycare.
And I
that was
did.
a noble thing.
Then you should have understood what I was saying.
All right, hold on, guys. You had your chance. Now we're gonna go to the ladies. Josie, you still with us?
Yes.
Josie?
She's on mute.
Maria, are you still with us?
Oh, I was saying Gregory should still get to finish his thought because he got cut off.
Hold on, Tanya. Hold on.
Maria,
are you still with us?
Oh, the audacity of you.
Maria?
I'm still here.
All right, so Maria, I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked the guys. So did you experience any struggle whereas it came to schooling? Did it because they told us to go to school, get a good education, it was gonna open up doors for you in the future. Did you experience any struggles, and because of that, did it bring about any new struggles as you became an adult, education wise?
My struggle with school was just getting up going.
That probably was a bunch of people's problem
That's it.
back then too.
So she answered basically real simple for you. She had no drive of going to school.
That's not Tanya.
That's
Yeah.
not what she said.
You real harsh tonight,
I know,
brother.
Maria. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Come on, Tanya.
Go ahead, Tanya.
Was school a struggle for me?
Did you when we was growing up, the ideology which you was being taught was go to school, get an education, it was gonna open up doors for you in the future. Did you buy into that, and was it a struggle for you later on in life if you made decision any decisions that hindered education?
I loved going to school because I loved learning. And it wasn't just about learning the books. It was learning about math, science, English, and it was learning about people, how to mingle with people, how to coexist with different types of people. And that took me over into my adulthood. I instilled that in my kids so that they can learn and do better and be better. Mm-hmm. It's not just about what's in it's about learning how to coexist with people and taking the knowledge that they give you and applying it to your life. You don't have to exactly do how they say it. You take the tools that they taught you and apply it to your life, how it works for you.
I like that. Patsy, same question.
I didn't really struggle at school or going to school. It was, because my mother was like, "You're going to school because I said you're going to school." That was the bottom line. It was like, but me, my sister, and my brother, I think my brother might have had more of a struggle with when he got older, but it was like, it was nothing, it was like, okay, bye, Ma, see you later. Both me and my sister like, love going to school, get away from Mom.
Mm-hmm. Well,
kind of like going to summer camp, it was like, bye, see you later, peace out.
That's why some people go to school, for those reasons only.
Can I just add to that? It's you don't take you take, like I said, you take it and apply it to your life as it works for you, but it also should provoke you to think, like, why is it this way?
That's all right, let's go to Gina.
It wasn't a struggle to go to school for me. Just did it. I'm sorry. What was the full question?
So
that's what it was.
So basically, when you was growing up, the ideology was you go to school, it's going to open up doors for you in the future, it's going to give you the tools to be successful in life. Did you buy into that? And if you didn't, did it bring about any like hardships? Did it contribute to any struggles as an adult, whereas education was concerned?
I was kind of rebellious, so I finished school, but I did get left back because I didn't go my in high school or whatever. So I guess that part was a struggle. I should have listened, absolutely, and did what my mother told me to do. But I was a very rebellious teen. And has it affected me? I mean, I went to cosmetology school, so I didn't go to college or anything like that, but it hasn't affected me because I didn't need to prolong my education in the fields, that I'm working in now. So
can I say something to you before we go forward? You went to cosmetology school, you said, right?
Yeah.
Don't ever minimize any of your attempts of accomplishments.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm just saying I wasn't going to be like a nurse, or I didn't want to be a nurse or a doctor or a lawyer or anything like that. So I didn't go to the university. I went to
you didn't go to a traditional kind of college types.
Gina,
scenario.
don't feel bad.
But
A lot of
some
people
of
that
the
went to
some of
college,
the
they
some
ain't
of the
with
basic
goddamn
things
career.
that
They
you
sitting at
learn
home.
helps you to be with your entrepreneurship.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
I just wanted to say this added to that because I didn't hear the whole
yeah.
answer
I
question.
was going to come back to you, Maria,
So
because I knew you had more
I
to
went to
say.
grad school, I went to secondary college school and all of that. But I don't think that, me not getting up and going to school and I was supposed to hinder anything in my life. And
Not at all.
No, no.
also,
And
there is
speaking
people
for
at
some of the women,
college
Oh,
that
and
hold on, Robbie. You gotta let them. You gotta let them finish. She's talking. Go ahead, Maria.
Uncle
also
Rob
there's
on that
people that went
Terramana.
to college that I know or went to the secondary college I went to, and they don't even work in those careers. They still
Right.
thank you.
have minimum wage jobs or whatever. A lot of people
Yep,
can go to school for a certain thing, but they never could get a job in the career
yep.
that they went
They
for.
choose. It ain't that they can't. They just choose
Some of them
not to.
can't.
No,
Some of them
some of
can't
them can't.
because, sometimes you get discouraged when you keep hearing no. So they just
Yes.
decide to go work somewhere where they know they can get a paycheck, every week because where they went to school
They
for
can't.
is not offering them a job.
And
So
sometimes
Now,
it
They
ain't got
can't.
nothing
They
to do
can't
with your
wait around.
education.
They
It
got
got to
bills
do
to
with
pay.
other aspects of your
and
life.
I'm about to
Yeah,
tell
they
you, because
got.
some
Yeah,
They
people,
got
that
bills to
too, Tanya.
pay.
That too. That
They
too.
got
Because when
bills.
I went on my internship, I was told that you don't just go there with the knowledge of what you know. You selling yourself as well. So if
Yeah.
you go to a place and you go in for an intern and you don't get the job, 9 times out of 10 it was because of the knowledge you didn't know. It was because of
It's
who
because of
you are.
you. Yep.
so
yes.
Yep. No
And
doubt.
and and what I was gonna say to that was, women tend to get hired more than men.
I don't
Mm.
think that
Because
that's
they
I don't
want.
know
It's an
about that.
equal
Because when I was
equality
younger, I
thing.
used to feel like a guy could get a job faster than a
Yes.
woman. There's
Now
so
I
many
They
watch.
they they
jobs
could.
like
You know
They
how long
could.
I've been watching women around me, and then hearing women, they quit this job like that, they go get hired with another job just like that, and I say, wow.
It's because of how we presenting ourselves and
It's
our
how
knowledge.
you
That's what
sell.
No,
you learn when you
it's
go to school, how you learn how to deal with other people.
no. It's
hold
men.
on, hold on,
You
Tim.
didn't have too many men secretaries. You
Hold,
had a bunch of women secretaries.
Wait a minute, hold up, Timmy.
And
hold on,
Timmy,
guys.
let me
Gotta
ask
be
Tanya this.
fair.
at one point in
We're
time,
gonna go to
we
Keon in
didn't
one quick
have
second.
many
Kiana,
women as
Tonya,
doing their jobs, but a lot of women do men jobs now.
Tonya,
yeah,
Yes.
explain to me,
but
Timmy. Can I just ask you this
go
question,
ahead,
please?
go ahead. I stopped. Go ahead.
Tanya, explain to me. You keep yelling this out. It's how when you go to school, you learn how to deal with people. Explain to me the people that didn't finish school and didn't go to school, and they get a job and they know how to deal with people
They learned that tool from somewhere else.
from their family, maybe their mom's father,
Yeah,
sister, brother,
exactly.
friends.
But
Exactly.
that's how
School don't
part of
always play a
learning is
factor
life.
in
But we was
who you
talking
become
about
in
school.
society.
We was talking about in the context of education
Yes,
and
but
going to
education
school.
don't always play the factor in who you become.
all right, so that being said, let's go to Kiana. Kiana, again, the question is, did you buy into the ideology passed down by your parents and society that you go to school, you get an education, it's going to open up doors, it's going to give you the tools to be successful in the future? And did any of your decisions, whereas schooling was concerned, did it hinder you later on in life?
I mean, yes, that was the plan. Like we said last week, staying home is not an option. You're behind, better be in school. Same thing how I raised my son. So, did factors change the trajectory of? Yeah, instead of being a straight line, it was like connect the dots. It was, you have a baby at a earlier age than you were planning to. And so college had to make a detour, but school was always embedded as being important. It actually, in some ways, I hated and loved at the same time. I hated it, especially when I was, I was boy crazy, or a particular boy crazy, and I didn't really like to be in school. I wanted to be, even though he was in school too, I wanted to be around him. So I, cut school and did things. And my mother used to be pissed, especially if she brought us all the way to school, because we I lived probably about 35, 40 minutes from the school we went to. So she was highly pissed that once we went in the school doors and came back out the school, she left and got on a train to come back to Boston. That shit never happened again. But
yeah, them goddamn Joneses, boy.
John
They love
Timmy,
to start trouble.
It ain't all
I'd
about the
like to applaud
Joneses
your
now.
honesty.
it wasn't about the Joneses. It was about, that you do
The
stuff
Jones
in your
influence you.
and you be sneaky. So again, do I, as someone else said, do I wish I listened to my mother this several times? And I was like, oh, I wouldn't be dealing with this if I had done it this way. But I always learned that the way it's done, or the way you do it, is exactly how you were supposed to do it. You were supposed to learn the lessons you were supposed to learn.
Exactly.
I learned that going to college when I was older, because my son is a math genius, he helped me a lot. So I didn't have to pay for no tutor. I didn't have to see anybody else. I did that shit in my own house. I was like, I can use the resources that I have. So it helped me out later in life to do what I needed to do to get to where I needed to get to.
Because
we all need to have some classes at school of hard knocks.
And that
so
was due to
you was doing what they was doing to the athletes back then. The only thing you use your son.
No. Listen to what. All right, we're gonna move to the next part. What Kiana's basically saying is the decisions that she made, whereas her son was concerned, she invested in him, and then later on, the skills that he acquired helped her.
No,
is that what you're saying,
want? That's what you want. That's what you want.
Yes, that is what you would like to do.
Exactly. So let's
what you're supposed to use.
So let's open this up. We got about 30 minutes.
I'm actually gonna step out after this, so I'm gonna try to stay on for this next question.
Yeah.
So
all right. Yeah, because I'm gonna go to you first. Stay right there. I'm gonna go to you first. So how do you feel about when you talk to young people and they say your generation doesn't know our pains, you don't have the same struggles as us? Our struggle is real. You guys is it's not real. Basically, they're saying that it's an illusion. Our struggle was an illusion, and theirs is real. How do you feel about that?
I feel that that's a slap in the face to somebody who's been struggling. Like, you can't say what my struggle is until you walk a mile in my shoes. So I think, my son and I had conversations. Like, I said certain things, and of course later on in life, like, I probably have said to my mother, oh, you was right, I should have listened to you. But you have to kind of go through life and hit the roadblocks that you're going to hit on your own to learn.
Okay, so do you feel like I'm going, Kiana, I'm gonna go to the next person. Gina, so again, you're part of the generation right upon the rust. So do you buy into what some young people, y'all's generation feels like, and the generation under you guys feel like that our struggles are not real, y'all struggles are real, that our struggles was make believe, it was all an illusion?
Huh? No, absolutely not. I feel like y'all struggles probably was the realest. Yeah, I think our struggles are, our struggles, but as far as when it comes to the generational thing, I think y'all had it worse than we did.
You understand it.
All right, Patsy, same question. So when you hear a junior generation say that our struggles are make believe, they're an illusion, a figment of our imagination. The only struggles that are real are theirs.
You know, I ain't never heard nobody to come up to tell me that BS. But if they wanted to and they even try to attempt that, be like, you don't know what my generation had went through. So you can't tell me that my stuff ain't real because you ain't been there.
Mm.
You know, I'm X amount of years older than you. You can't tell me what you ain't never been through.
Mm.
That's how I approach it.
Okay. Tanya, same thing.
Yeah, I would tell them that you, like everybody else is saying, you can't tell me what my struggle is because you didn't walk my walk. You didn't walk my path. You didn't walk my journey. So you can't tell me what my struggle is. Just like I can't tell you your struggle is real because your path that you're walking is a lot more, you got a lot more going on than I did back then. You're dealing with a lot more mass shootings and a lot more gun violence and a lot more separation, division, hatred. Back then during my struggle, it was mass. Right now it's out in the open. You can't tell me about my struggle just like I can't tell you about yours.
Okay. Maria?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, if you haven't walked in my shoes and I don't walk in yours, I can't tell you about what's going on in your life, really, and you can't tell me what I've been through because half of us don't even speak about the real struggle we've been through.
There's some truth in that. Josie, are you back with us?
Or are currently going through,
All right.
Sometimes things they're just better left handled than discussed. So the struggle's real. It's just what it is.
Chelsea. Bye y'all. Have a good night.
Later.
All right, have a good night.
All right, so I think that's all the ladies. So we're gonna go to the guys. So Timmy, when someone says your struggle is an illusion, mine is real, you don't know my pain. What do you say to that junior generation?
I tell them that's a goddamn lie. Because first and foremost, just like our parents struggled, so we didn't have to struggle.
I
could
didn't answer that.
Oh,
I just told you the struggle
Pause
is
for a
real.
moment, Timmy.
So I
Pause for a moment, Timmy.
didn't get to respond to that. If this generation, well, let's say the younger generation, says that their struggle is realer than my struggle, I would not acknowledge their struggle. I would tell them, I don't know what type of struggle you're having, but your struggle is not the same struggle as mine. We all lead different paths and we all make different choices. So you may have a struggle, but it's not the struggle that I'm struggling with.
Okay.
I'm finished.
All right. Timmy, go ahead.
Yeah, as I was saying, like your parents went through struggle, so you didn't have to struggle. So if you chose to struggle and go down the path that your parents didn't want you to do, that's your choice to be struggling. Now for the generation today, like back when we was coming up, we didn't have these programs that's gonna make sure that you don't flunk, make sure that you
no
are gonna
child go
finish.
left behind.
Yeah. So there they don't have to live the way that they live. Some of them choose to do that, and that's why they live in a struggling life because they chose to do that. Your parents are when your parents tell you to go to school, they tell you to go to school for a reason. That's not for their benefit, it's for your benefit. If you choose to not do what you're supposed to do, you can't blame your parents, blame your goddamn self because you chose to not be in school. So my thing is, a lot of kids today be struggling for no damn reason because their parents struggled for them, so they didn't have to struggle. All you had to do was go get that damn education so you can be something greater than your parents was.
Okay. Sean?
Yeah, I think if someone from this generation was to walk up to me and say that my struggle wasn't anything compared to theirs, I wouldn't shoot them in the face right away, but I definitely would understand what they were saying because this generation, in my opinion, is entitled. And it's saying that they think that everything is supposed to be easy or right away, and so not saying that they don't work hard, but they think everything is supposed to be just right there. And because everything is so open to them, that's why I think the pressure to them seems so much greater because everything is out in the open. Like you can't hide from anything. If that makes any sense, what I'm saying. Like, and so where I don't want to use that in our generation, we was able to mask certain things, but our struggle was our struggle for our era. So like I wouldn't shoot them down for saying what they said, but I definitely would understand why they think that way.
Yeah, I agree. They do have there's a lot of sense of entitlement. Yes, where their generation is concerned. And that being said, let's go to a member of the junior generation. Gregory, how do you feel about that when your generation states that our struggles are not real, they're an illusion, and you guys are the only ones that have real struggle?
I'm gonna say like Patsy. I've never heard anyone from my generation say anything like that, but I have heard people from your generation say that about people from our generation. But I think everybody have their own individual stories, even though some of them might be similar, and everybody's going through their own struggle through their own eyes, through their own experience. So I wouldn't ever agree with somebody telling somebody that their struggle isn't like their struggle when you really don't know how that person feels on the inside. No matter how you can look at it from the outside and try to say, well, you could have did this, you could have did that, and you're not looking at that person's feelings. It's just like a one-sided thing.
That person's coping skills,
It's all about choices. You choose to go down a path that's going to bring you success, or you choose the left where you going down the path fast money and everybody out to do stealing anything it takes to get that money, and instead of you going down the straight path where you're getting your education. And because don't get me wrong, ain't nothing wrong hanging out with your damn friends and whatnot, the friends that you grew up in the hood. Ain't nothing
Well,
wrong with
I got
that.
a trade, so this is
But
what I'm saying about the whole the whole
when
situation is
your future, far
a
as your
matrix.
success of you being something is on the line, because
Because of a lot of people believe what you're saying, Uncle T.
guarantee that the next person, the
The
people that
definition
you
of
hanging
insanity
around
is
with,
doing the same
they
thing
are
over and
full
over again and
focus
getting and
on
thinking you're
doing
gonna
what
get
they
something
need to
different, but it's
do. They
getting the
might
same
be out
result.
here jumping and jiving and bullshitting out in the streets and whatnot, but best believe, unless they got caught up, them niggas are definitely getting their education.
All right, pause. Robert, go ahead and jump in there. So again, if you heard someone from the junior
No,
generation,
I have it right here.
Robert,
I have it.
you hear the question?
I know the question. I know my answer.
Well, tell it.
Generations and generations and generations. I'm going to tell you like this. The first generation pushed and pushed and pushed on that door, trying to knock it down. Then comes the next generation. Instead of them pushing on the door, they kick the door down. That generation after that didn't have to worry about pushing or kicking on a door, because all the doors was either knocked down already, and the ones that wasn't, they took their hinges out the doors and made it easier and possible for the new generation. That being said, you have to set a list with goals. Check them off as you accomplish each and every one of them. Never look towards what Jay-Z's doing or Beyonce or any other entertainer or movie star. Look towards what you can do and be the best you possible.
All right.
Can I piggyback off of that?
I can second that.
Words bring life or death. So if you speak life into your situation, meaning you speak positive, uplifting, encouraging, fulfilling, and not death, not negative, not discouraging, not knocking down, you can go somewhere. It's the same thing as your thought process. Thinking is speaking. So as you speak those positive, you got to think those positive to build up, to bring life, to live, to sow the seed. Anything else, you speaking negative, you're thinking negative, you're speaking death.
So let me ask you guys this question. So do you feel like the junior generation, they take on unnecessary struggle? Like, because again, if the prior generation paved out the path, smoothed it out, and they still choose to go take the road that everybody else is traveling, even though their parents, their elders, they're supposed to have their best interests in mind and heart, have already basically paved out a smooth path, given them the blueprints for success, and they choose to still go travel that road that has a whole bunch of lumps and bumps in it, obstacles, twists and turns, and potholes. Do you feel like that's what the younger generation does? They choose to take on unnecessary hardship? Gina?
Sorry, I'm putting the baby to sleep. Can you come back to me?
Okay. Patsy, do you feel like the younger generation chooses to travel the road that everybody else is traveling? Did they choose to take on unnecessary hardships?
I think it's kind of like half and half, but I also look at it like each and every generation, our generation did it, the next generation underneath us has done it. Some people chose the harder path, some people chose the right path, but we've done it. I'm sure our parents' generation has done it with after their parents' generation. So every generation then has done it. They made it harder for themselves each step of the way. It's kind of like a domino effect. You know, so we all done it, you know, and our parents looked at us like, what are you doing? Like, didn't I tell you? And like, that's, you, why you being so high-head?
I think that you can kind of look at it both ways, because it could be like they taking a different path because maybe they see some of the mistakes that the generation before them has made, and so they go in a different way to get a different result. It may be a better result. So it could be either way, depending on.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying.
Okay.
But
yeah, that's pretty much what I was saying.
If you guys heard what I said, they're traveling the road that everybody else is traveling, and it's full of bumps, lumps, twists and turns, and plenty of potholes.
Because it's a goddamn car pile up.
So again, do
And
you
nobody
think do you
fixed
think
the
It's
road.
a goddamn car is like a stuffed up pipe that's fucking clogged up. It's a bunch of cars piled up.
The road was meant to be
Everybody's
bumpy.
trying to
It's gonna be a rough
get
ride.
down that damn road.
I think you guys are missing. I think y'all are missing the point. I'm telling you. Do you think that the younger generation chooses to take on unnecessary hardships in spite, despite that we've already showed them the error of said ways?
Oh, okay. You didn't say error.
Well, I adopted the fact of telling you that the roads was paved full of obstacles, potholes and stuff. But go ahead, Tanya. Now answer it in that shape and form.
I'm still gonna say that it has to do with how you think and how you speak. It has to do with your mindset. Because life is not easy. Life is full of bumps and twists and turns. God made it that way. So you can learn how to depend on him and lean on him to get direction.
Mm-hmm.
So right. I think that if they need to learn how to lean.
Well, pretty much what I was saying too is like our parents tried to make the road smooth for us. So we tried, but we kept making bad choices. So we tried to smooth it out for the next generation. But then they took the unnecessary bumps and turns and difficulties like we did. So it's every generation kind of did it a little bit, even though the road was smoother when we got on the road. So this next generation is going to do the same thing.
I was special. I didn't do that. I took in with
you were special, Tim.
Yeah, I was special. I took in what the elders told me. I did everything that they told me was, lessons to learn and watch and use through my upbringing, because that's all I hang with my elders.
I guess the point is that even though God gave them wisdom to teach us, all of our journeys is going to be filled with twists and turns.
But do you feel like
definitely?
Do you feel like the younger generation is choosing to take on unnecessary hardships?
Of course. Because there's too many programs to help them. But they ain't supposed to be going through no goddamn trials and tribulations with all the
hardship. What do you mean?
So I mean, so again, if you know that dealing with certain individuals is going to bring about hardship, bring about your destruction, you still choose to hang with these people and deal with them. If you know, go ahead, like Bird said earlier, purchasing a Mercedes, and you know you can't afford to pay for a Mercedes, and you have to pay rent and stuff, and the amount the monthly, the cost for
But that shit.
your car note
People's doing that
is
in
more
every
than your
generation.
mortgage.
That's what
Thank you,
I was about
Gregory.
to
It
say.
ain't necessarily the
It
younger
is not the
generation.
younger
That's
generation. You are
It's
sick
situational.
every
on
Like,
blow.
generation going through that.
I feel like that's situational based on your situation. I feel like people in y'all generation too
Still do that.
have
Still do that.
They
still do
paved
that
the way for
and
that.
has
That's a
done that.
road they smooth
This
up.
is exactly what I was saying earlier, David.
It's
Like,
like you
No.
taking away from
you're
Yeah.
that
saying
part.
what I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah. But in reality, you were supposed to learn from what they did wrong
That's
and
not
not
the way this
No,
follow
that's
works.
that
not the way
same
world
It's
works.
pattern.
environmental. Your upbringing is going to be environmental.
Yes,
So the
exactly.
things going on in your environment, regardless if you think you're teaching your kid the right stuff or not. Your
Nah,
kid goes
nah.
outside and get influenced by their friends, that's because the environment
Hey,
that they're in.
hey, listen,
And you can't take
I
that away
had
from what
that,
I'm saying.
I had that shit, and I had to tell the motherfuckers, listen, you are already a
Like
product. You already a product of the fucking system. You are not gonna bring my son in that
y'all
fucking
generation
product of the
do a
system.
lot.
So that
Hold
was
on.
me as a parent looking out for my kid, not to let him go down, forbidding that shit to go down, for him to go down and be out in the street doing the little dumb street code fuckery bullshit that they got going on.
All right, hold on.
You
Pause.
know, so
Timmy.
it's all about you letting it known
His environment
that
was different
the
from
person
mine
that's
growing up, Uncle
influenced.
T.
Like y'all
Um,
I hung
generation
outside. I
when
had
hold on,
tons of friends.
Timmy and Gregory. Hold on, guys. You guys, y'all like monopolizing the conversation. You're not giving these other people that haven't had a chance to answer. We're gonna go to
Oh
Gina.
yeah.
We're gonna go
I'm
to
sorry.
Gina, and then we're gonna go to Sean, Maria, and Josie. Go ahead, Gina.
I feel like, well, just to, sum up this whole conversation about, y'all generation, I feel like in certain situations, y'all generation had it harder when it came to certain things, like for just throwing something out there, kids getting kidnapped. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
really, I mean, that still does happen, but it happened more around y'all time than my
Right.
times.
Yeah.
I think it's situational. I think certain things we have it harder, my generation, and certain things y'all had harder. You know what I'm saying? I feel like racism, y'all had that much harder than we did, and we do, I should say. I think it's just more out in the open now, and it was more hidden back then. But yeah, I don't think that we should have learned about situational things from y'all. Meaning my mother's generation. Y'all did good. I think y'all don't know a lot about, like, loving and holding on your kids. But that's just one thing that, you know what I'm saying. Y'all not really I don't want to say loving. I don't know. I don't know the right word for it, but it's not loving. It's
Tough
just that.
love. They got a lot of tough love.
Yes, exactly. It was a
Passionate.
lot of no, right. There was a lot of tough love and not a lot of soft love. So
I think that depends on the parent, the people
Mhm.
that you're
that
dealing
is
with.
true too. That is true too. But mostly everybody I know was like a lot of tough love, and it could have just be the Black community, but
A lot
yeah, a
of
lot of
times,
tough love.
you guys are a lot of members of your generation. I hear that y'all not receptive to that love. Like a lot of them say they're not affectionate, and I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah, my mother's not that affectionate. I love her to death, but she loves me to death. I know that, but she's not an affectionate person, and neither was her mother. You know what I'm saying? And neither was her brothers, and so they weren't affectionate people. And most of the people on my mother's side of the family are, not affectionate to their kids.
Hmm. All right, hold on, guys. Hold on, because I don't want to spiral away from what we talking about. Because that's a whole nother. I'm gonna put that on the calendar.
I seem to do that all the time because I'm so sorry.
No. Because it's within the context of what we're speaking about. Sean, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like the younger generation sometimes takes on unnecessary hardships? They choose to travel the road that's full of obstacles, potholes, and twists and turns?
I think so. And the reason why I say that is because some they don't seek guidance from our generation, and I understand what everyone is saying, how we can sometimes villainize this generation. So for them to even come to us, or to even feel like they can say something to us or ask us about anything, might be just a hardship for themselves in itself. But to stick to your question, I think that if they weren't such a microwave society and really take the time to look at situations and deal with situations, I think they would probably fare a lot better than the way that they do.
Well said. Maria, you still with us?
Yeah.
Okay, so the same question. Do you feel like that the younger generation chooses to take on unnecessary hardships by traveling the roads that are full with twists and turns and lots of obstacles and potholes, although that you have already instructed them to take the road that's smoother, that's been paved out for them?
Yeah, I think that's with any kid. They tend to go the opposite route of what their parents taught them or told them.
Because they think we don't know nothing.
So yeah, I think, I can't just say that generation. I think, people as a whole brings a lot more stress to themselves only if they would have listened or, did as they was taught in the first place.
Right.
All right, let me get Josie's perspective. Josie, you still with us?
But wait, I wanted to say something about what Gina said about the generation with the love. I do agree with that. Like, it was more tough love coming up than, come here, give me a hug and kiss. I know my mother loved me. We say that to each other or whatever, but at the end of the day, it was more a tough love situation.
Okay. Josie, you still with us?
Yeah.
That's
All right,
you
so
be
same question,
goddamn
Josie.
strong.
Josie, same question. Do you think
You don't take no shit,
Sam,
Tell me.
So the younger generation, do you think that they choose to take on unnecessary hardships by traveling the road that's full of potholes and twists and turns, although they have another option to travel the road that's already been paved out for them?
I love a cheat sheet. I love a cheat sheet. If I give you a way to climb the ladder and you don't have to go through the BS to get there, I would never understand why you didn't want to go that route.
That's
However, it's always someone else's story, and I'm not here to tell that. I only could tell my own. So I know that I could say the same thing for my mom, who probably said, go to school, do this, do that. And I did the other thing that I wanted to do. So this generation coming up, if they're not taking our advice or our guidance, then I only can look back and say what I caused myself, the roadblocks that I caused myself, where I may be at this time in my life if I listened and followed those guidelines.
Get the hell out of here.
All right, so pause for a minute.
You stumble, but you achieve.
All right, Timmy.
You stumble, but you achieve.
All right, so let me give you guys the last question. So basically,
I'm
Wait,
so
David,
sorry. I
before
guess
you
I
say
wasn't
that, before
worthy
you
enough to
Bobby,
answer
you
that.
wait one
Yeah,
Go on to the next
yeah,
All
question.
right,
that's what it
listen,
was,
listen, listen.
Bobby.
Let's not act like a bunch of prima donnas. If you was missed, all you have to do is say that.
Yeah, he
Listen,
didn't want you to tell her that
listen, as
Bobby.
Josie
far
wasn't
as
finished. Josie wasn't finished, and I was about to go on to the next question. But go ahead, Josie.
all I was gonna say was to piggyback off of Gina and Maria. I feel like coming up with my mom and that tough love stuff, it again, we want to do something different with our children when we come up. So, I think that I was too lovey-dovey with my son. Give me kisses. I love you. We still say goodnight and give each other kisses before we go to bed.
Oh,
So
there ain't nothing
at
wrong
the
with
end of
that.
the day, it, at the end of the day, our mother might not have did that every day with us or showed us what we thought was affection and love or something like that. But to her or to them, they felt like they were giving you just what they needed,
They
because
show
I'm
love with
sure
action.
Maria, I'm sure Maria is definitely loving on her child, and Gina, I know you're loving on yours. So,
And
it's
I'm
things that
loving
we
on
take away
mine.
from right. And
I'm
I
And,
tell
and,
sure
you,
and, and now I don't even want to answer the question about the
oh
children
my
matter because I
goodness.
can go back to the lack of parenting. I can go back to when your child look towards you for advice or speaks out, you feel that they might have became irritated. You cannot sit there and answer it honestly because you might not know how. So to brush them off is more easier than to say, hey, you're having a problem with understanding what you need to do tomorrow when you get up in the morning. You do this shit every day. Why can't you remember what you need to do? I shouldn't have to tell you 2 times over and over and over again. So some children don't want to come to their parents and ask them, hey, do I put the right foot in front of the left foot? You should already know that some parents are going to say. Going
Yeah.
on to, was my mother kissy boo, loving, and all of that? What my mother did do for us, which y'all haven't said, every night. And you're not talking about why your kids is, we're talking about why the teenagers, grown men or grown women. We're talking about every night. Before we went to bed, we was in her bedroom majority
Yeah,
of the time
I was
at
gonna
the bottom of the bed
I was gonna
saying our
piggyback
prayers, good night, I
off
love you,
of what
mommy.
Josie said when she said
But
they
this
give
is what
good
I'm
night
saying.
and give kisses every night. Again, I never said that. Mommy didn't say she loved us or give us kisses. I never said that. Tough love is
On this podcast, we did not hear y'all say this either. My mom sat us down. Good night, I love you. After we said our prayers, she showed that type of affection. That's all I'm
right. But
saying.
you got a habit of turning things into it you want to discuss.
Good
It's okay
night.
if you want to discuss that too. But we were piggybacking off of what Gina
But
said
that's
first
my
and foremost.
opinion.
She
What
said it
I'm
was tough
saying.
love. And that's what
Once
we were
again,
piggybacking off of. Now
once
you're
know
trying
what?
to
we meant
say
You
by
like
have
tough
the
telling
you
love.
you
my
have the right
story.
to
we
say
forgot
your
the love or
opinion.
the
I'm
upbringing of the
telling
mother
my
that
Okay,
we
this
had.
is
story.
why I call
Kid,
you
your
the
shit is
drama
out of
king,
control.
This
He
is
has
my story,
I
my
rebuke
Like, I don't know
version
out
where
of
your
through
spirit
train of
in the
Robert
thought
name of
is.
I.
Jesus.
All right,
Looks like you lost control,
so
I
guys,
goddammit.
don't know where his train of
listen,
thought is.
You
listen. I'm
lost
trying to
control.
listen. I wanted before we. This is the last thing. I just want to get people's final opinions. So again, Robert basically kind of answered my last question.
At the beginning, Dave.
The things that
I don't know how he's so challenging.
listen, just
Yeah.
please. The things that our parents did, were they of an influence for us so that these became lessons that we passed on to our children? And do you think that the lessons that we were taught by our parents and then in turn passed on to our children will sustain, be something that will hold up throughout time from the next generations? They pass down from generations because the wrongs that they did was based upon what they felt was right at the moment. Do you feel like that the lessons that we learned, basically, that we made the best of them and made sure that what our parents did not do, we did more of it for our children. Because I feel like that we basically, like someone said earlier, to simplify.
That's why they was adamant about school
We
days.
made it easier for them, so that they didn't have to go through the obstacles that we endure. So do you believe that that's something that they're going to pass on to the next generation, meaning the younger generation? Robert.
That's right.
Robert.
Sorry, what did you say?
All right.
Do
Gina,
you think that this would be something they would pass on to their children? Would they learn from us?
Yes.
I hope they. I hope in any household, raising a child, they take or took the good values that you have displayed or installed in them and practice it with their own children or in their own households. Leave the bad and carry over the good.
Well said. Well said. Gina?
I think that there is some generational curses that need to be broken, but for the most part, I would I think you guys' generation taught me a lot, which I am putting it towards and teaching my child.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Gina, was you finished?
Yeah, I was a pause, so I didn't know if I was supposed to answer something else. I'm sorry.
I was giving you time to finish. Patsy?
Yeah, I know I took what my mother gave me into, even though I don't have children myself, like I worked in daycare, so I try to influence some of the stuff that I've learned and apply that to kind of teach the kids that I've taken care of in daycare or even babysat sometimes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right. Tanya?
Yes, I've broken some generational curses that I can see being passed on for the good.
Timmy?
Lord, thank you for Morgie Memorial Fresh Air Camps and my mother. God damn it.
All right, that's sacrilegious. You want to curse after you thanking the Lord, but I get the point. I get the point. Maria?
Yes. Like Gina said, sorry, I got food in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm following back what Gina said. And I definitely see things that my mother did for me. I carry it over to my son, and he's carrying it over to my grandkids, which he's a very loving father because they always hugging on him and kissing him.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Josie?
That's what he should be focusing more on.
Josie?
Yes, I definitely hope and see that the things that my mother instilled in me, I am trying to do. I have done the same with Gregory. And y'all can see that Gregory is very giving. And listen, Lord Jesus, sometimes I look at him like, I don't know where you get half of that from, because it ain't from me. I would gave up a long time ago. But yeah, some things. So that feeds into what we're saying, right? What I gave him, he's doing extra than what I would ever imagine and extending sometimes. I was just sitting there looking at him like, aren't you exhausted? Aren't you tired? So
Don't you say nothing, Robert.
At the end of the day, I do see the qualities, the good qualities that I have implanted in my son, and I wish to continue to see more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gregory?
Yeah, I want to stay hopeful for the youth But I'm not gonna say that I'm blind to their agendas and see how they're trying to break up households, pin women against men, men against women, children against their parents, parents against their children. And it's kind of crazy because it's Agenda 2131. It's working. It's actually working, but we got to be the ones to actually put a stop to it, break the curses, like Gina and Tanya was saying.
Okay, my son Gregory, for the people that don't know what that Agenda 21 is, would you be able to...
Agenda 21 is already passed. They already have the feminist movement and the LGBT movement and the what did you call the NAB, nothing black men and all this crazy stuff. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's already happening.
No accountable.
No. Which word? That's his final words. Sean.
Yeah, I think that each generation passes on something to the next, and we pick and choose what it is that we want to, that we gravitate to and make it part of our life.
Okay, so I'm gonna be brief.
What about me? I didn't get to go.
Yes, you did. You went before the others. Remember, you said thank you for Morgies and your mother.
Oh yeah.
All right. All right. So now that we here, so I'm just gonna be brief. So I would say this to past and present and future generations. See, we are all still amongst the living, so there's still time to right wrongs. Go back and learn lessons that were offered. Master things that you weren't well at, but you still got a chance to become better at. Turn some weaknesses into some strengths. Strengthen some strength that can become weaknesses. So with all that being said, experience is the best teacher. This is the Still a Man podcast. Thank you guys for being a part of the discussion. See you next week. God bless you all.